So last Friday, Apple opened up the pre-orders to the iPhone 15 lineup, and it was a bit of a mess, but I did manage to snag the iPhone 15 Pro Max in the color I wanted, and I picked that one for very specific reasons, which I will address in this video. Now, I believe the iPhone 15 Pro Max will be the right choice for me. The question is, will it be the right choice for you? Let's ramble.
Hold up, things go wild when I pull up. They all on me like it once.
Hey, what's up guys? It's great to see you all again, and if you're new here, I'm Patrick, and this is where I ramble about tech and other stuff. So yeah, last Friday's pre-order situation was a bit of a mess. As always, us techies that are looking to upgrade, we're sitting in front of our computers like some sniper in hyper-focus mode, trying to get our choice of iPhone quick enough to have it delivered on release day, which is this Friday, the 22nd. Now, I've had some really bad luck with these pre-orders in previous years, so I decided to open up the Apple Store app on my phone, as well as the Apple Store on the Apple website, and a little hack I discovered last year when I found out that one of the bigger web shops in this part of the world also holds a license to open up for pre-orders and release the phone at the exact same time Apple does. My reasoning was that this online store that sells massive volumes every day throughout the entire year probably has a more robust infrastructure to handle the boost in traffic on pre-order day. And it turns out I was right. Both the Apple Store app on my iPhone and the website did not open on the announced time at all, and just stuck on that, almost there screen. So I took a chance and went for the third-party seller instead, and boom, iPhone Pro Max in the right color. Done and done. The only thing I didn't manage to get was the 512GB size I wanted, and I will explain later on in the video why I wanted that storage option. But anyway, I had to settle for the 256 gigs this time to still be able to go and fetch it on pickup day. And I did choose to collect it at one of their physical stores this time because the postal services over here have a real talent for messing up deliveries, especially when it counts. Anywho, all is well that ends well, and I got the iPhone Pro Max in natural titanium, which in my opinion is the best color this year. I'm kind of over the black. I've had some bad experiences with the blue on the MacBook Air, and I just don't like white really. Last year I got the gold iPhone 15 Pro because it was the only color that could still be delivered on time, and I'm not a fan of the color at all, and to me it looks more like an off-white, some kind of put off by white tech at the moment. I made an entire video about that fiasco. If you're interested, I'll link to that video at the end of this one. Anyway, I went with a natural titanium. It's a new color. It looked amazing on screen, so I'm hoping it will also look as good in person. Which brings me to the first reason why I decided to order the 15 Pro Max in the first place, because let's be honest, if you own one of the 14 Pro models, there really aren't that many good reasons to upgrade to the newer model. But of those few reasons, the new titanium finish is definitely one of them. I like the stainless steel look on the 14, but it's an absolute fingerprint magnet, so much so that I can't stand it. It makes my OCD explode, and I have to put a case on it at all times. The brushed stainless steel on the new models looks so good, and I know from experience that this material is far less prone to fingerprints, which might actually allow me to rock this new iPhone naked from time to time. Whenever I do slap a case on it, there's a good chance it will be one by our channel partner Casekoo. They've been making solid cases for some time now, and their iPhone 15 lineup, which they've just released, looks amazing as well. Personally, I really love the look of their frosted cases, but there are plenty of varieties to choose from. What I like about Casekoo cases is that they offer really good protection all around without becoming overly bulky, But the main feature for me has to be the magic stand, which allows me to angle the iPhone pretty much however I want, which is great for things like FaceTime and viewing content. And that's of course going to be especially enjoyable on that massive screen of the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And if you're thinking that ring might interfere with your MagSafe accessories, think again, because that thing actually has 48 magnets built in, so if anything, it makes the connection even stronger. So guys, definitely check them out. If you're looking to pick one up for yourself, there's a link in the description. Anyway, I really look forward to seeing that brushed titanium in person, and I think the natural titanium color will look amazing with it. By the way, I'd be interested in your opinion here as well. Let me know in the comments which color you think is the best one and why. Now, the second and much more important reason I got the iPhone 15 Pro Max, or rather why I decided to upgrade in the first place, is of course USB-C. Now, I'm sure most of you have seen the event, and I don't know about you guys, but I laughed out loud when Uncle Timothy announced that USB-C has now become the universally accepted standard. What's even more hilarious is the way they tried to pass it off as a carefully considered decision by Apple, when we all know know that they had no choice. The European Union literally made them do it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It is finally here, and that's all that counts. Now, the reason why USB-C is so important to me is not just the fact that I can now finally charge my iPhone using the same cable that's been charging all of my other tech for years now. It's actually much bigger than that. And I will tell you why that is in just a second, but to understand that, I should probably explain the number one reason for me to get the iPhone Pro Max this year, and that is the camera system. Because after a few years of putting the exact same cameras on both the Pro models, this year, only the Pro Max gets all the bells and whistles, and as a content creator, those bells and whistles are actually important to me. So I had no choice but to fork out the extra cash for the Pro iPhone's bigger brother. And if I'm being totally honest with you, I'm not super happy about that. I much prefer the size of the regular Pro. I find the Pro Max just a little bit too big for my pockets. It's a chunker, and I wish Apple would have continued to put the same camera system in both phones. But, you know, maybe the nature of the camera features made that impossible this year, because what sets the Pro Max apart from the Pro this year is of course the 5x mode. Last year, Apple did introduce a 3x zoom, but the difference between 2x and 3x is not really that noticeable. But a 5x zoom, which for my fellow camera nerds out there is the equivalent of a 120mm lens, will definitely introduce a lot of options for photos and videos. Especially since this is technically not a digital zoom, but an optical zoom by means of a very clever prism design that Apple showed off at their event, bouncing the light several times to create that distance a little bit artificially. Of course, the proof will be in the pudding, and we will be testing this thing in great detail to see if it lives up to the hype. If you're interested in following that up, a sub to the channel would be much appreciated. Anyway, the cameras look promising, and it looks like this time I'll actually be able to incorporate the iPhone into my production workflow. Now, why do I say that? Weren't the cameras on last year's model pretty damn good? Yes, they were actually, but the file sizes on ProRes Video, which is the file format you're going to want to use if you're looking to edit these into your videos, are massive. And there's no way I'm spending literally hours transferring these files from my iPhone to my MacBook using that lightning cable. And this is why having USB-C on the iPhone is so important to me, because now the iPhone will become a viable camera in my arsenal, making this the first time that spending this money on an iPhone might actually make sense to me. Now, do I wish they'd put a Thunderbolt port in there instead? Sure, but this is a massive step up from last year, and I'll take it. And that brings me to the next reason I got the iPhone 15 Pro Max this year, and that is the battery life. If I'm gonna shoot as much video on this iPhone as I anticipate, I will definitely need a beefy battery. And I'm sorry to say this, but the battery on the 14 Pro is junk. It barely gets me to the end of the day, and that is just scrolling social media, making some phone calls, and answering emails. Imagine using it as a camera. It would be dead by lunchtime. The battery life on the Pro Max is superior, that's just a fact, and that's another win for the Pro Max. Yes, it's a very expensive phone, but thankfully I'm not spending a dime on Apple Watches this year. The Apple Watch Ultra 2 is barely an upgrade. Feel free to hear me rant about that in my previous video, but hey, at least it's saving me money. And that money I'm happy to allocate to the Pro Max this year. So yeah, I'm looking at this year's iPhone lineup very much from a content creator perspective, meaning my main reasons for upgrading to the Pro Max are the bigger battery, the better camera, and the USB-C port, turning that camera into an actually usable asset for my business. The fact that titanium looks really dope will be just a nice little extra. Now, I hope you don't mind a little shameless plug here, but I am dropping a new wallpaper pack today, and I'm super proud of how it turned out. It's called Wanderlust Cascades, go figure, and it contains one custom wallpaper for each color of the new iPhone 15 lineup. I haven't done the official release yet, and specifically for you guys watching this video, I created a discount code, which I will leave in the description below as a little thank you for watching. I can't wait to hear your thoughts, and guys, let me know in the comments if you think the Pro Max will be the phone for you this year as well, or maybe you're sticking with a phone you already have, or you have your eye on another model. I want to know it all. If you enjoyed the video, please give it one of these, it really does help. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to check back in for the actual hands-on reviews.